All right, in this presentation, we'll be talking about just our monthly meeting and going through some implementations that we've been going through with the database and some sales metrics for this meeting. So we have been using a new business analysis using SQL Server Analysis Services and PowerBI. And this allows us to integrate some of the data from multiple sources and analyze it and share it as we are in this presentation. Combining the SQL Service Analysis Services and Power BI allows us to improve querying and speeds, which is great for the larger data sets we plan to implement in the future. And it aggregates and optimizes calculations so that we can scale as the business grows. Some of the key metrics that we'll be looking at in this presentation are the units sold by product, units sold by year, units sold by store region, units sold by vendor, and then we'll wrap it up with some final key points. So in this slide, we can see that the units sold by product, the medium tents and tiny tents seem to be the big sellers right now. Even the biggie tent is doing pretty good. But the socks or the Easy Boot and the Z bag are not quite selling as well as we'd like. So we will have to look into seeing how we can increase sales in that department. And then this slide shows the units sold per year. So we have limited data, but the data that we do have shows that in the 3 days of early January 2024, we have 43 units sold, all in the unit of or in the time frame of 2024. Units sold by store region. So we have the Chicagoland store and we have the Tri-State store. And the Chicagoland store is outperforming the Tri-State store by about a quarter of the sales. So in the next slide, we'll go over some more reasonings behind why that may be. So this is units sold by store region and by the products vendors. So we can see that Chicagoland and the Tri-State are pretty equal when it comes to the Mountain King brand, but the Chicagoland store is selling quite a bit more Pacific Gear. Actually, we see that Pacific Gear is really only being sold in the Chicagoland store right now. So this might be due to climate in the Chicagoland store. As we saw, the boots and the socks are not selling well, but they might be this difference that we're seeing in the Chicagoland store. So in the database, we've created a calendar table, and this calendar table is going to be useful in further presentations. And it's crucial to our data analysis and reporting because it enhances time-based analysis. So it'll allow us to see which products are sold on which day, and we can pull that data using this calendar. And this page or slide shows sales by date. So we can see that the limited data that we have already accumulated is for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of January. We see that the 2nd is quite a bit increased sales, almost double compared to the other 2 days. This might be because of post New Year's sales. But it is something for us to look out for and to see if this trend continues. So just some conclusions on what we went over. The Chicagoland store is outperforming the Tri-State store, mainly due to sales of the Pacific Gear merchandise. Tuesday appears to be the best sales day, nearly doubling sales for the other days of the week. Pacific Gear is not selling in the Tri-State store locations in January, so maybe we could look at some other sellers from Pacific Gear that we might be able to implement into the Tri-State store to see that if we can increase those sales numbers. The tents remain key sellers across both regions, so I think that we can say that that's a solid seller, and also, as I mentioned, implement some other sellers to increase sales. I think we will open it up for questions.